Was it rape or was it not? That's the big thing. That's the toss up here. And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I'm going up on my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What, Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for episode 5 of the Quad. This is season 1. And we are in this whole situation here now where we don't know, or we're trying to decide whether or not Sydney actually has been raped or did Terrence have consensual sex with Sydney. I'm going to say, just from the footage that has been shown in the show, for me, it's so apparent that it was rape. And even with looking through both sides of the story, I still would lean to rape. Yeah, rape. And if not, and even if he's not charged with rape, sexual deviance, because it was, it started off one way and it ended another, and it was very deviant. He was very, even when he's telling his side and her, they were very all in each other's face at the beginning of the party. And then she basically said that, she really was interested in another boy, which was Miles. And Miles basically, Miles is the good guy who tried to tell her, about some of her previous behavior and to watch herself and watch how she's carrying herself and that kind of thing. And she kind of was like, yeah, whatever, whatever. And then he came on to her and kissed her all in the mouth. And he said, see what I mean? See how easy that was? This is where the problem lies. You have to, really, I mean, he's a decent person for the most part. So during the party, and it just turned her on because, that's just kind of her thing. She is a little slutty, you know what I mean? So's Mama. And I love Dr. Eva, but Dr. Eva's a little slutty. But it was like this cat and mouse game now. So she was really dancing with Terrence and carrying on with Terrence and grinding and gripping with Terrence during the party, trying to make Miles jealous. Miles ended up leaving with a sore from some other, from the party, and went on about his business. At that point, Terrence offered to walk her home. And as he walked her home, they're flirting back and forth. And this is where the stories get kind of... he's asking her to screw. She's saying, no, I don't want to do that. So, no came out quite a few times. And then her body actions were saying kind of like, yeah. And it kind of told what he even thought of her, you know what I mean? He literally, they were in it, and then she's saying no, but then he got more forceful, and then they ended up falling into the bushes, and then it just got very rapey at that point. Once they fell over into the bushes, it was a thing of okay, enough of this, it's going too far right now, but it was too far at that point. And this is when I'm looking at both stories. It, became very grabby and very sexually deviant at that point. There goes whenever when she got examined, there were lacerations. Honey, if I voluntarily give you pussy, there are no lacerations. You ain't that big, honey. A woman can have a whole baby out of there. I promise you, Terrence's little manhood is not that big to just give her laceration. She already drunk. She's already drunk. And that was another thing. Him saying she wasn't drunk, she was tipsy. No, no, baby. We already know that Sydney can't handle her liquor. That bitch was drunk. She drunk off her ass as usual. Bitch can't handle her liquor. And there were lacerations because she was not trying at whatever point. By the time they got to penetration, she wasn't a willing participant, and that's why there were lacerations there. Okay, so that was that whole thing. So this, for me, it just doesn't. It was very rapey. And then when it finished, both said the same thing. How he just got up off of her, just left her laying in the bushes. Really? Now, I've never been a straight male. Never. Okay? I've never been a straight male. Um, so I don't really know what or how it is you feel about, that whole heterosexual sex thing. I don't know how that all goes down because I ain't never been a part of it. But I'll tell you this. I ain't never had a motherfucker. Well, first of all, I wouldn't let a motherfucker fuck me in no motherfucking bushes in the first place because that's the work of a slut. And secondly, I would never lay with anyone who didn't think enough of me to, if I did let him screw me in the bushes, just leave my ass laying in the bushes. He got up and just left her laying in those bushes. Now, and I'm going to go out there on a limb and say, I don't think that's a heterosexual thing. I think that's just a human thing. When you have engaged in something so intimate as intercourse, there are some types of feelings there, because you like me somewhat. You just get up off me and leave me laying in the bushes. And then she get out the bushes and she falls over because she's drunk as shit. And her pussy's all busted up at this point. And surely I know he's not thinking, shit, I'm that big. I tore her ass up. And he walked away, and this was both of their story. He looked back and said, oh shit. And turned around, picked her up, and then carried her into the dorm. But see, that was at the point he already figured he done fucked up. And we found out later, because he done fucked up before. We found out later in the program that at his high school, there was an alleged sexual advance made by him. And the girl retracted the accusation. So anyway, so this is the things that we actually saw. For me, I'm going to say rape. You all tell me what you think. Put it down in the comments, and let's be respectable to each other. Don't start. Don't start. If you don't start no shit, and there won't be no shit, because this is a very touchy subject. It's touchy. That whole word is touchy. So when y'all get down in there, and I'm not just talking about with me, even with each other. Be respectable. Don't be in them comments acting no fool, because if y'all get down there acting a fool, I'm coming down there for you. So don't do that. Be respectable to each other and to me, and I'll be respectable to you all. Okay, so let's go on. Tasia and Bojan. Tasia is the little reporter girl, cute little brown skin girl, and she approached Bojan very paparazzi esque. And she dropped it on him, and she asked him about, why did you choke your ex-coach? And she said, I heard it was from outing a former teammate. Maybe it was more than he was just more than your teammate. You want to talk about that? And Bojan tore her ass up. Let her know you don't know what you're talking about, and don't ever approach me like that again. So they kind of got into it. Later on, you see her actually come. She was actually at something at another event, and she used that same approach. So this is just, she knows her job. She knows how to do her job. She did it to Terrence during a press conference for the football team. They supposed to be asking football questions. She went on in there and asked him about the rape allegation. So she's going to be a fabulous journalist. But anyway, probably a beat up ass journalist too. But it is what it is. Bo John, she goes to Bo John's apartment. He and they're playing video games and everything. And she comes in and she apologizes to him for how she actually came at him. And then he ended up, in turn, opening up to her and telling her the story of what actually happened. Bo John is actually a gentle giant, is actually what he is. He is a person who would probably make a fierce ass activist for whatever cause that it is that he would take up. But he, like he said, I came from a household of bullying, and I can't stand bullying, and I won't stand for it. And this is what actually happened. That damn backwoods ass goddamn freak that was the coach had literally just like was tearing up this boy. The coach outed him. He really did. He said, you think I don't know? He basically all but called him a fag in front of the whole football team. Blamed him for the football team losing the game. Well, he actually called him a pansy, which is the same thing. Um, and he embarrassed him and he outed him in front of the whole football team. And Bo John kept saying, "You don't have to talk to him like that, coach. This, that, and the other." And the coach just kept going in, going in, going in. And the boy, you could see the boy's spirit just breaking, and you could see him like huddling and sinking. And when Bo John knew it, baby, he'd have jumped up and grabbed the goddamn coach the way his dad grabbed him and choked him up and told him, "Leave him alone." That's who he is. He's a gentle giant, with a temper. Yeah. And I'll tell you what he would make is a perfect motherfucking boyfriend, honey. And he's cute too. So that was the thing. And this is what was going on. So there's some things was going on in that room. And I started seeing some sparks flying between Tasia and Bo John. And she's seen it too, but she's just kind of a flirt, and she's flirting with him and playing and carrying on. He ended up asking her to go to the movies. She invites this other guy, little fat guy, to go along. Real nice guy that plays on a football team. He's fat, cool. We've been seeing him. And they all went together. And then she said to Bo John, "You seem to have had an attitude. Was it because I invited so and so to go with her?" And she knew. She knew exactly what she's doing. She's playing the game. And then she's down there twerking and popping and watching. And one day when they were in the dorm, and she noticed that Bo John was watching her. And then she comes around and then she said, "Do you like me or something?" And she's playing the game. And then she walks on off and everything, playing it to a bus. And Bo John grinning and he the bonnet, nose wide open. And the little guy told him, he was like, "Oh no, you don't want to mess with her. Just change your speed." And he's like, "Why not?" And he told me, he's like, "The problem you're gonna have with her, because she's grinning at the other guy, and he looked like he was getting a little jealous." He's like, "He ain't the competition. She's been screwing the first quarterback ever since she's been here. For 3 years, he's been smashing her. And there's already tension between first quarterback and Bo John. So we're gonna see more of that, I'm sure. That's gonna be interesting." I can't wait to see this part of the storyline unfold, because I could just imagine what these conversations are going to be like. I know Bo John's father is going to have a fit. I done sent you down here to colored university, honey, and now you trying to get with this black bitch. Oh, he's going to be mad, honey, but that's going to be interesting to see. So we'll keep on watching that. Um, let's talk about um Sydney and her roommate. Sydney and her roommate, and I understood it. She keeps pushing the roommate away, pushing her away, pushing her away. And the roommate she's getting offended, but not letting it overtake her. She's really being an excellent friend to Sydney, and Sydney's just not opening up to her. She's still clamming up. She opens up somewhat to Eva, but not totally. Like she wanted Eva to go in when she had a rape kit done at the doctor's. She had her go in with her, but then she ended up asking her to leave because she got uncomfortable and this kind of thing. As soon as they asked her like about the use of condoms and stuff like that, she asked for her to leave and everything like that. Then they talk, and she ended up breaking down to Eva. She's going to move from the dorm and she's going to move back home for a little bit. And she told her, "Mama, I hate him." I hate him. I hate him for what he did. And she told her, I hate him too. And he's going to pay for what he has done. And it was very interesting. So that continues on. Eva gets on her pursuit, basically on her witch hunt. And then toward the end of the program, we see where social media and they're victim shaming. And I ain't nobody raped her. Oh, slutty, the slutty president's daughter, this, that, thinking that she's reading these things, and it just was like terrible. And the only person that she could talk to and feel free talking to who really knows her and really knows her story is her roommate. So she contacts her roommate, and the roommate, without any issue, bam, turned around, came up, she's knocking on the door. You see somebody ringing the doorbell, and Sydney opens the door at her mom's house, and it's the roommate, and she just embraced her, and that was a really good scene. You know what I did, child. You know me, I'm a waterhead, honey. You know, I was giving all, child. But yeah, she embraced her, and I was like, all right, she finally came around. No more mistreatment. You see, she's there for you. She's the only friend you got. She's the only friend you got other than your mama. So definitely she's been a very good friend to her. This whole time, she's always been a very good friend to Sydney, and Sydney's always taken her for granted. So it's beautiful that she actually is seeing her for who she is. Um, I'm going to talk about the Nina Simone moment, and at the end, we'll talk about Nina Simone. Okay. Um, so Eva is pissed. Okay. She wants to expel Terrence. Period. She's like over it. She wants to expel him. She's been told, and the board is coming in like, we cannot expel him over an accusation, no matter how heinous the accusation is. And I understand that it's your daughter, but we have to go through the proper investigation before doing any of this. And Eva's like, mad, and she's like, okay, fine. And then a police officer comes in a little bit after that, and the police officer is saying, we need to talk to your daughter, this, that, thing, and the other. She's like, I don't want you to talk to my daughter. She's pissed. She's like, I don't want this, I don't want that. He's like, well, with all due respect, ma'am, this is my jurisdiction. I don't need your permission. I'm going to talk to your daughter. I'm going to go into the records here at GAMU because it seems as though this person who is actually being accused has a possible past offense. And baby, Eva's ears shot up like this, honey. And you saw her wheels start spinning. And that's when we found out about what happened at his high school. Eva then goes to talk to the coach. Now, whenever in the beginning, when Sydney was telling her part of the story, she told her part of the story to her mother. And at the same time, they're showing flip screen, and Terrence is telling his part to the coach. And the coach even goes to see the coach. The coach she asked him, did you recruit him? And he's like, yeah, I did. Did you know he had that alleged sexual issue and accusation on his record? And he's saying, you know what? It is what it is. It was, the accusation was retracted, this, that, and the other. And then they're going back and forth, comparing apples and oranges. And he said, you went and recruited Bo John, and you know for a fact that Bo John choked the shit out of his coach. That was covered by the media. He was expelled from school, and you recruited him and brought him in there, and and I'm the coach. And he told her, now I'm going to tell you now. And she told him, I'm not. She said, we gave Bo John an open invitation for an education. And you brought him here, and he gave my daughter an open invitation to his dick. I said, oh, Eva. And he told her, well, now will be the time to excuse yourself because you're going too far, and you don't want to go there because he like Eva. He wants some of Eva. He told her, you need to excuse yourself. That bitch sat down and crossed her. I said, this is why I love Eva. She is such a bitch. I just love her. Like, she is not, you're not telling me, well, don't tell me what to do. That bitch sat down and he said, that's fine. I'll excuse myself. And that just made me like him even more. I said, oh, child, y'all need to go ahead and get on the table and get it over with. So, I love this show. I really do. I love this show. So, okay, let's talk. That was the last of what went on. But let's talk about the opening of the show and the closing of the show. The opening and the closing, there was a montage that was done to For Women, which is a song by Nina Simone. And if you don't know the song, Google it, pay attention. It is one of the most brilliant pieces of poetry put to music that you will ever hear. And that's where I'm going to leave that at. It is a piece of poetry put to music. And it is very powerful, very informative, and it's like she literally covered the history of black women in about 4 minutes. Probably a little less than that. So, For Women by Nina Simone. All right, guys, that's it. That's all I have to say for this. Remember, down in those comments, respect one another, respect me, I'll respect you. We can talk, but we have to respect each other. Please don't get down there clowning, y'all. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.